Lesson 1. Introduction to Emotional Intelligence. Understanding emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, EI, is a critical skill set that refers to a person's ability to identify, understand, manage, and influence their own emotions and the emotions of others. For sign language interpreters, who function as communication bridges between deaf and hearing individuals, this capability is more than a soft skill. It is essential to ethical, effective, and empathetic practice. The concept of EI was first introduced by psychologists Peter Salovey and John D. Mayer in the early 1990s, and later popularized by Daniel Goleman. Goleman's framework outlines 5 core competencies that collectively define EI: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Each of these competencies influences how individuals respond to emotionally charged situations and interact with others professionally and compassionately. Emotional intelligence in the interpreter's context. In the field of sign language interpreting, EI manifests in nuanced and often high-pressure situations. Interpreters frequently find themselves in emotionally charged settings, hospitals, courtrooms, classrooms, counseling sessions, where they are expected to remain neutral, yet fully engaged. The very nature of interpreting demands intense emotional labor, conveying messages with appropriate tone and emotion, while ensuring the interpreter's own feelings do not distort the message or affect the participant's communication. For example, consider an interpreter working in a medical setting where a deaf patient is receiving bad news about a diagnosis. The interpreter is likely to feel the emotional weight of the message personally. However, their professional role requires them to faithfully render the content and emotional tone of the message without letting their own emotional reaction interfere. Here, emotional intelligence helps the interpreter recognize their internal emotional response, self-awareness, regulate it appropriately, self-regulation, and maintain an empathetic but neutral stance throughout the interaction. Similarly, empathy plays a crucial role in the interpreter's understanding of the experiences of deaf clients, many of whom face systemic barriers and marginalization. Emotional intelligence allows interpreters to practice empathy without over-identifying with clients or compromising the neutrality required by professional ethics. Interpreting scenario, medical consultation. To illustrate the importance of emotional intelligence in practice, imagine a scenario in which a deaf woman is meeting with her doctor following surgery. The doctor, with the interpreter present, explains that complications were discovered during the procedure and that a second surgery is necessary. The deaf woman reacts with visible distress. In this moment, the interpreter may experience a strong emotional reaction, perhaps sorrow or anxiety, but must prioritize the accurate and compassionate delivery of the doctor's message. The interpreter's facial expressions, body language, and signing style must mirror the seriousness of the message without overshadowing the content or misleading the patient. Emotional intelligence here enables the interpreter to maintain self-awareness of their own feelings, to manage these emotions effectively, and to project an empathetic, composed presence that supports both the deaf client and the medical provider. If the interpreter fails to regulate their emotions, perhaps by crying or hesitating, the deaf client may become more distressed, uncertain about the message, or may misinterpret the seriousness of the situation. This can lead to confusion or even mistrust in the healthcare process.